How was your weekend, your day of birth, and everything and such?
I had a good time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just
Heavy
kept it simple.
partying and... Oh, okay.
I kept it simple.
Crazy parties, heavy drinking,
Oh,
passing out,
I'm 41. I'm way past crazy parties.
lapses of memory, and blackout drunk.
No, nowadays I have 2 drinks and I'm done.
Have you ever been blackout drunk?
Oh, yeah.
Asked
Yeah,
a certain
my
Supreme Court
20s.
judge.
Oh, yeah.
No, you don't remember him asking Klobuchar.
Yeah, I don't remember. That would be the best answer to that. I don't remember.
I don't recall. I was. All right. I am not super excited about these 5.
This was your idea.
I know. But I didn't realize how many I haven't seen. Like, I know the names of so many dark comedies, but I was like, I don't know these. Like, I didn't see them. And a couple of them, I'm not sure. I guess they're dark comedies. Maybe one of them. One of them, I'm not so sure they're not. And we might have 1 or 2 that are similar from the stuff that you mentioned to me. Or did you end up dropping any of those?
I tried to stay away from... Only one of them would be considered like full-on horror comedy.
All right.
You are listening to Coast to Coast Film Reviews with Raj and David. Let's talk movies.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. You are listening to Coast Film Reviews. This is our very first episode of the decade, our first episode of our second season and the year 2020. And it's also our 11th episode since we began production. I'm Raj, your handsome South Indian Dwayne Johnson, Hugh Jackman loving host. And now let me introduce a man who won the title of sexiest podcaster alive in Estonia, though the results were entirely unverified and all the votes came from supposed close relatives bearing the exact same name as the winner himself. He's been regarded as a sex symbol worldwide, but over these last few months I've come to know him as more than just a sultry voice. A man that smells so good anyone would love to make a candle out of him. A man that's been told he's almost as wonderful as pizza. Almost. He's also the sole reason for global warming. He's the young, the ravishing, the David.
Hey, good evening, everybody. That was a hell of an introduction. I feel special.
First one of the year, I thought I'd do something a little bit special. And this just past January 1st, there is something special that did happen, and I thought I could just spend a minute or two just to cover that. A certain someone's birthday. Of course, I'm talking about Betsy Ross, Paul Revere, J. Edgar Hoover, first FBI director, J.D. Salinger, Vern Troyer, formerly known as the Mini-Me. Okay, I think he actually had like a long time kind of issue with that role too, being poked down for being for his dwarf role and all that. Also, actor Morris Chestnut. Fun fact, his first feature film appearance was in 1991's Boys in the Hood, as well as rapper Grandmaster Flash. Also, fun fact, he was born in Barbados, if you didn't know that. And also the most famous white man name in the world, John Smith, explorer, birthday January 1st, 1580. Had he been with us still to this day and not died at the age of 51, he would be... What is that?
440
years old. So it's a shame he was.
Well, happy birthday to all those great folks. They share a really incredible day to be born on.
Yes, but of course, the most important birthday person of all is my co-host, David Gibson.
Yes, I just turned 22.
Oh, well.
I just sound very experienced. No, Hey, I didn't even know I shared a birthday with all those glorious people.
I know. And
J.D. Salinger, that's awesome.
see, look at that. We're learning here on the show. This is
Yeah.
what the show is all about. Learning. That's what it's
Yeah,
not.
I've always wanted to write a book to help people assassinate famous people.
I'm not sure. I think I read that book
Catcher in the
in
Rye?
in high school.
Oh yeah, it's a great
And
book.
yeah, I didn't see the connection. I didn't understand what they saw. I remember our teacher told us about all that, and I was like, "Oh, whoa, that's crazy."
Well,
But
you got to be
during
in
the
love
whole
with
thing,
Jodie Foster as well. If you have a love for Jodie Foster
uh-huh.
and you read that book, you
Okay.
kill a beetle.
Wait, what is the relevance between Jodie Foster and I'm missing some reference you're making?
Well, the man who killed John Lennon
Yeah,
was apprehended with a copy of that book,
yeah.
but he was also in love with Jodie Foster. No, I'm
Oh,
mixing that up with Michael Hinckley, who who shot Ronald Reagan, who
oh,
was
okay.
also, I think, into Catcher in the Rye. There's like a weird thing with assassins into Catcher in the Rye.
I trust the first thing that comes out of your mouth. So if you could just be accurate the first time around, I would really appreciate that.
Mark
'Cause
David Chapman, who killed John Lennon,
okay,
was caught with a copy of Catcher in the Rye when he was
Caught.
apprehended.
like he was like, "Oh, please,
Yeah.
it's not mine." Was he? I thought did they catch him alive?
Yeah, he's still
Oh.
alive, I believe.
I thought I heard he killed himself before
No,
they.
I think even recently he went up for parole.
Oh, I think
He didn't get
he
it,
won an
but-
award. He won.
Like, why didn't you kill Ringo, buddy? You had to kill.
Oh.
You had to kill John.
I like Ringo, which is that one song Ringo does, guitar teardrops. No, that's teardrops. That's
The
Taylor Swift.
guitar weeps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guitar.
that's George Harrison, though.
Oh, never mind.
Ringo hasn't
Ringo.
really done anything.
Like he's the drummer, man.
Yeah. So
Drummer.
he's interchangeable.
Oh. All right. What is our special list of the day, of the week? We're
doing our favorite rom-coms, right?
Oh, yes, you are absolutely correct. I'm going to need a few moments here to redo this entire list. We're doing top 10 dark comedies, David.
Yes. So are you going to start us off this week?
I am going to start us off real strong like with this. These are not ranked. I never rank because I don't want people to say, how could you rank down first, right?
Because you can't distinguish art.
Because all art is beautiful, and these top 10 are not necessarily the best, just I have no idea why else I would say top 10. They are clearly in some aspect the best or something. But anyway, top 10 dark comedies, here we go. My 5 is American Psycho. The second we started talking dark comedies, my mind instantly went to horror that is taken lightly, and I first thought of American Psycho, and I was like, gosh, that movie. The first time I saw it, I think I've seen it only 2-3 times in my life, but the first time I saw it, I was like, what a weird ass movie. I didn't know how to take it, and then I think I revisited about 2 years later. And I was just like, this movie's so hilarious. It must have been after I saw Christian Bale in something else. Maybe after I saw him in Batman Begins, actually. It was probably after that because I wanted to see all of his other movies. And I saw American Psycho again. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. And I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be funny. And I do research and I was like, oh yeah, it's so like it's kind of funny. Like him and his friends who are competing with the business cards. The business card color, I think. What was it called? Bone or something? Like the color?
Yeah, the font and the raised
Yeah.
the
It's
raised
embossed.
printing.
Yeah. And just that whole scene where he's looking at himself in the mirror during the sex scene. I was like, he's just such a character. It's like, wow. I don't know who else could have done that. And just like it was so unique and just funny. Even the parts where he's like discussing, oh my gosh, which band was it when that girl's over and he starts going into
he
detail.
does Genesis and he does Huey Lewis.
Yeah, he talks about all that. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? I was like, isn't he gonna kill somebody? Like, he's so weird and so eccentric. It was so fun, so funny.
Putting a cat into the ATM.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then I guess the weirdest part when it came to the kill was when he was planning the drop of that particular weapon down the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, what is he doing? And then it's like, oh wow. That was great.
It's
Yeah.
funny. I was going through all my Blu-rays. For some odd reason, I have 2 copies of this film, and it's not like either one of them's like a special copy. They're just the regular releases. And for some odd reason, I had American Psycho already, and I saw it online. It's like, you know what? I need another copy of American Psycho.
Well, maybe you lost it and then you couldn't find it, and so you got another one.
But just look at the 3 main stars in that film: Christian Bale, Willem Dafoe, and Jared Leto.
Yeah.
How do
Jared
you
Leto.
how do you beat that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this film. The book is amazing. If you folk have never read the book, it's
I
an
did
amazing
not.
book. But I think Christian Bale's character, Patrick Bateman, is just such an amazing character. And you never really know in this film, is all this madness just going on inside Patrick Bateman's head? And these are fantasies, or is this reality?
Right.
And it keeps that very it keeps that very subtle. You never really know. Is this a movie about a businessman who just wishes he can kill everybody, or is this a serial killer disguised as a businessman?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of it that way. I just assumed everything is like literally happening. But that's an interesting. I want to see that again now in that way. Maybe did anyone ever analyze it that way or do a review that said that?
Well, just watching it myself, you never really. I feel you never really quite know what exactly is going on. But I think it's a brilliant film. At one point, they were trying to get David Cronenberg to direct this, which would have made it a totally different film. And I think even Oliver Stone and Leonardo DiCaprio were signed on to it at one point.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, but I think I don't know if you could make this film too much better. It's for me, it's a classic.
Okay. All right. Well, let's jump into your number 5, sir.
So I'm going to go to my number 5, and this film is a highly praised classic as well. I'm going to go with 1996 Fargo,
Oh, Fargo.
directed by the Coen brothers, who I love the Coen brothers. From Raising Arizona through, they have so many good films. Their filmography is amazing. But this film is like a lot of their films. It has just bumbling criminals. It stars William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi, who I love. I love Steve. He's such an awesome actor. Frances
I
McDormand,
was going to say, what about Frances McDormand?
who I believe she won the Academy Award for Best Actress in this film. But basically, it follows a kidnapping, a paid kidnapping. William H. Macy tries to get his wife kidnapped to help pay off some debts so he can do a fake ransom. And everything just pretty much falls to shit, which normally happens in a Coen Brothers movie. There's an awesome scene where we see a body in a wood chipper, but done for as much comedic value as you can possibly do. I love the Minnesota accents in this film. When you hear a Minnesota accent, you just can't help but smile.
Yeah.
And they all play them. William H. Macy and Frances McDormand, they do so well at these accents, but it just has this strange dark humor that kept me laughing the whole time, and it was amazingly well received by critics, which dark comedies don't always get that praise. I know it was nominated for some Oscars. I know it was also nominated for the Palme d'Or at Cannes. So it's not only just a great film to watch. It's an American classic.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You have not seen Fargo.
No, my wife constantly tells me I need to see it. I need to see it. And it's one of those old Coen movies that I should definitely have seen by now.
Have you seen Raising Arizona?
No, Nicolas Cage, right?
Oh my God, you're a Nicolas Cage fan and have not seen.
I was just waiting for that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm aware. I'm also a father of 2, and I have to sleep nowadays. As of last year, I realized that I need sleep, and my body forces me into it. So my late night movie nights have become much more difficult to get through. But that is my dilemma.
Yeah, we have to find a way just to transport them into your brain then.
That would be awesome. I would love all these movies just put into my head, and then I can just play them as I sleep. What a waste of time. 1/3 of our life sleeping? That's bullshit, man. What a waste.
So now you have a lot of the Coen brothers filmography you have to go through. Your list is just getting, it's like unmanageable.
It is not manageable in this lifetime. It's not going to work. I need to just read all these scripts. That might be possible.
Yeah, you have to see Fargo.
Yeah, no, I do want to see it. It's definitely on my list. Yeah, I know the rough story of it. But I haven't seen it. I think I remember the trailer from when I was younger.
It says it's based on a true story. It really isn't. That's just them messing around. Actually, the TV series is quite amazing too.
Oh yeah, I think we did talk about that before. Yeah, you told me the TV series, and it's not like piecemeal version of the movie, right?
No, it's an anthology. So each season is totally different characters. It's in the same universe, but it really has nothing to do. The stories don't really link together, but it's in the same universe. The Coen brothers didn't direct, but they were the producers of it, so I guess they had a lot of oversight. I didn't have a lot of hopes going in, but it's actually a really, really solid show.
Okay.
They did really good at keeping the tone, and it's all dark comedy.
All right, my number 4 for my dark comedy list is 3 Billboards. I abbreviated 3 Billboards. It's
Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
There you go. Man, what a cast! Francis McDormand. What's his face? Woody Harrelson. Yeah. I don't remember. There was that young guy that I've seen in other movies. He played that. The guy who gets pushed. I can't say that. Sam Rockwell, of course. Peter Dinklage. Abby Cornish. I think I'm thinking of Lucas Hedges, but no, I haven't seen him in anything else after that. But that was a really good movie. And as I was thinking back, I was like, was this really a dark comedy? Because I had to research what dark comedies have I seen. Some of these top lists are really like, real gear grinders, if that's a thing. Really, no, that's an angry thing, grinding my gears. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. It's a long wait in the movie. Like you're just, I guess you could say it's part revenge story. At least there's this part of the story where someone is, or at least you want them to seek vengeance. And it's a wait and a wait and a wait. And despite that wait, the ending was still very nice. I thought I wouldn't like the ending because I was sort of planning out, when I watch movies, I plan out how I'm going to feel. What if it ends this way? What if it ends this way? And my mind is all over the place. I'm like, oh, if it ends this way, how am I going to feel? And when the ending finally came, I was pretty happy with it. And that kind of surprised me because I really wanted it another way too. And it was good. I love Sam Rockwell movies. Like, I'm not sure if there's a single Sam Rockwell movie I don't like, but Francis McDormand and him and Woody Harrelson, they were awesome. And Woody rarely lets me down too.
I love how they left the ending ambiguous.
Yeah.
They didn't, turn I won't give it away, but nothing got turned. No, your feelings about the characters didn't really get turned.
Right.
Which they could have gone either way. Um, but yeah, it's such an incredible film. I was late to the party on this one, and I watched it real recently. But there is a lot of dark humor. Frances McDormand, her character, the scene with the priest, I loved. When you know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't recall.
When the priest is questioning her, and she just throws back basically the whole child sexual abuse at the priest, saying, "How can you question me when you're running with this gang?" She equates the Bloods and the Crips, and then equates the whole Catholic Church, the Bloods and the Crips, and covering up for each other.
Right.
That and the scene with Peter Dinklage, because she goes out on a date with him just more because he looked out for her in a certain respect. And Peter Dinklage, his performance there, it almost kind of brings a tear to your eye. But on top of that, there's just some amazing comedy. It's just it is dark, but it's also slightly uplifting at the same time.
Yeah. I was going to say in 2017, it won for Best Motion Picture Drama, Best Actress Drama, Best Supporting Actor, Best Screenplay, and was nominated for Best Director and Best Original Score, which I feel bad I don't remember the score now that I think about it, how good that was. That was at the Golden Globe Awards.
Yeah, and it got nominated for a bunch of Oscars as well. I think Frances McDormand, did she win her second Oscar?
For the Academy Awards, 7 nominations: Best Picture Actress for Frances McDormand, Best Original Screenplay for McDonough, Supporting Actor for Sam Rockwell and Woody Harrelson. McDormand and Rockwell took home their respective. Rockwell and McDormand won their awards: Best Supporting Actor and Best Actress.
Yeah, that was very strong acting, and I loved Woody as well. Woody always makes me happy when I see him in the film. So, yeah, if you haven't seen that one, that would be a pleaser for a lot of different types of taste.
I like him. I think in my younger years, I don't know if I saw many of his more comedy roles, but in my older years, I definitely appreciate him in his more serious roles. Like when I think back, I think True Detective.
So amazing! So amazing!
You've seen season 1? We never really talked about that.
Oh, that's I think one of the best seasons of television in the history of television.
Oh cow, yeah. Well, I haven't seen. Oh yeah, we did talk about it because I mentioned season 2. Was that with Vince Vaughn and Colin Farrell? I saw that one. It was okay. It's hard.
Season 3 was stronger on Mahershala Ali. He played a really strong role right after he won the Oscar. But yeah, that first season is just an amazing. It's a 10-hour film. It's an amazing piece of filmmaking.
That's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah, it's like just a one long movie.
Yeah.
If you had to put them in order of your favorites, would you say? What did you see 2?
Yeah, 2. I don't even think I made it through 2. So it's 1, 3, then 2.
Okay. Well, I do want to, because I liked 2 was interesting. It had like more main characters than 1 had, like more active main characters. Like 1 had Michelle Monaghan, Matthew McConaughey, and Woody, and it sort of played this back and forth through time thing. While 2 had Colin Farrell, Amy Adams. Wait, not Amy Adams. Amy Adams, is that her name? You know what I'm talking about? Gosh, True Detective season.
Well, I have a lot more respect for Colin Farrell and Vince Vaughn within the last few years. Mm-hmm. So I might go back and revisit it. I could not accept Vince Vaughn as a badass. But since I've seen Vince Vaughn in Brawl Cell Block 99 and Dragged Across the Concrete, I have a lot more faith in him. So I might go back and revisit it, and maybe my idea on it will change.
I liked him in it. I thought he was a good cast. I mean, I didn't really consider replacing him when I was watching it. Like, oh, it's garbage. But Rachel McAdams is who I was thinking of, not Amy Adams. And and Taylor Kitsch, which you've seen him. Did you see him in that hit movie? Oh gosh, what was it called? John Carter.
No,
I
I've
think that
not
was
seen John Carter.
one of the biggest busts of Disney history. John Carter. Well, he was the star of that movie, unfortunately for him, but he was really interesting character in that too. So, like I said, there was like 3 or 4 active character roles in that movie. I mean, that season. So it was interesting in a far different way than season 1. So it wasn't bad. I liked it.
And there is a very big tangent for you folks.
Well, True Detective. 1, 3, then 2.
1, 3, then 2.
They're not story based in terms of like you must watch 1, then 2, and 3. So have at it.
Now to keep the folks a little more interested, I had a couple backups. I had American Psycho on my list.
Okay.
But I had a couple ones that I could throw in because I had like a top 7 list, and they're all films I love. So
you got to tell me when I hit your ones that you ranked, because I'm keeping. I don't know if you saw in the details in Podbean. I'm like putting like our Battlefield scores or Battleship scores.
Well, we agree on American Psycho, but I do have a backup.
Okay, which is
this is 1987's Throw Momma from a Train.
Oh man,
from the train. I'm sorry, starring Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal. Have you ever seen this one?
You know, when it first came out, I think it was. I mean, for me, it came on TV for me, and I was too young to watch that stuff. Like, I don't know. It was. I just wasn't interested.
Well, it's inspired by Hitchcock's Strangers on a Train, which is a classic. But the plot's pretty basic. Danny DeVito, his character, has a very overbearing mother. He lives at home with his mother, and she is the part is played by this lady who's, I think her name's Anne Ramsey. She's just such an overbearing asshole of a person, and she does it great. Billy Crystal has an ex-wife that he can't stand. So Billy Crystal is a writer who's going through writer's block, and he's teaching a class in which Danny DeVito is a student. So Danny DeVito comes up with the idea that if he kills Billy Crystal's ex-wife and Billy Crystal kills his mother, they will never get caught because it's killing somebody they have no real connection to. So they go forward with this plan, and it obviously does not end up how they want it. But it's just a classic 80s comedy, and it has that darkness to it. And so for our younger listeners, if you want to go back and just see a really nice piece of 80s nostalgia, but it's also just an awesome film, go check this out. It was also, I think it did pretty good with the critics as well. Probably had some Golden Globe nominations. I think the woman who played Momma got nominated for Best Supporting Actress at the Academy Awards, if I remember correctly. So it's just a fun, dark movie.
That woman's face just creeps me out. Like, she should have done more horror or something. Whenever I see that, like every now and then I see that movie poster or something, I'm like, oh, that's scary. Oh, that's where I've seen her. She was in Goonies. Wasn't she she was the mob mother.
Yeah, and she's been in a few films, but she just yells at Danny DeVito, and it's hilarious. There's one scene I love where she walks in and Danny DeVito's there with Billy Crystal, and Danny DeVito just hits him in the head with a cast iron skillet, acting like he broke into their house. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, I forgot that Billy Crystal was in this. He said Billy Crystal. I was like, what?
Yeah. Back in their heyday too. It's 87, so that film's almost 33 years old now.
Well, now, what is his recent success? Did they do Harry Met Sally too?
No, Billy hasn't been around. Ever since he lost that Oscars gig, he hasn't been doing much.
He was banking. What's he doing in his life? You gotta call him up, see if he's free for this show.
God, he has to be 70 years old now, so.
Oh, man. 70? That's it?
I was being generous.
That guy has looked like 50 for the last 40 years. He's so like just dad look to him for the longest time.
71.
Wow, that is
1948.
That was a good guess. I am on. What did we did that one. I gotta mark these. That one. I did that one. I did that one. So that was your number 4.
Yes. So we're on your number 3.
3. Let me see. I think I have my extra I didn't kick out of this list. So that means I need to have 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I'll do 3 as Fight Club. The movie that one of the first twist movies that was ruined for me when I was young, whether I don't remember if it was because a friend messed it up or because my VCR decided to forward 40 minutes to the end when I discovered the big twist of the whole damn movie. But the movie was just funny and weird, and also another one of my first dark comedy movies starring Edward Norton and the beautiful Brad Pitt, who was this gristly kind of fellow who was promoting this secret club of fighting. And it's funny to see Edward Norton's transition in the story from that meek character into this more confident character, and all of Brad Pitt's little schemes and whatnot in between. I still remember the soap. The soap thing was so funny. Yeah, and Helen Bonham Carter. That was I think that was the first movie I saw her in, and then she was just in like every Tim Burton movie after that, and I was like, oh, okay, now she's in everything. But yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it, and I think that was the second Edward Norton movie I ever saw. That one came after, I think, American History X. I saw before that. That might have led me to see this movie. But yeah, that was a really good one. I loved this movie.
Yeah, that and American Psycho, they came out right around the same time.
Let's see. What year do you think? Fight Club.
Both around early 2000. Well,
Fight Club.
They got to be within 6 months of each other.
Fight Club 1999, and I apologize for not saying the year before. American Psycho came out in 2000, so Fight Club beat it.
Yeah, I bet I would say they're probably within 6 months of each other, somewhere around there. But I saw both of these in the theater. Fight Club was the reason I was waiting to move to the DVD era. I was waiting for the PlayStation 2.
Oh man, it's 2.
So I was like, I'm not going to buy a DVD player. I'm going to buy a PlayStation 2. So why not just wait? Fight Club made me go buy a DVD player because they put out the DVD like 3 weeks before the VHS was going to release. And I had seen it in the theaters 2 or 3 times. And I was like, you know what? I'm not waiting for the PlayStation 2. I'm just going to go buy a DVD player just so I can have Fight Club on DVD.
Wait, I don't get it. Why didn't you just buy it and then get the PS2 later?
Because I didn't want to buy the VHS and the DVD, so I decided just to get a DVD player. I justify it like, well, I'll have one in another room or something. But I saw that movie in the theaters at least 3 times. I'm a huge fan of David Fincher. Before that, he did Aliens 3, which was not all that great, but he did The Game, if you remember that film. Michael Douglas and Sean Penn. It's such an amazing movie. He did 7. Yeah, and then he did Fight Club.
Okay.
That's a hell of a 3-movie run right there. And he's done, he did The Social Network. He's done a lot of great films. But Fight Club is a classic to me. It is funny. The whole IKEA part of the film. The whole single serving Friends. At the beginning of the film. The acting is absolutely amazing. Another film with Jared Leto too, which Jared Leto is kind of going through our list.
Yeah, why is that?
So is Frances McDormand. So,
oh god.
But yeah, Fight Club is an awesome film. Fighting a Priest. If you put Fighting a Priest in the film, I'm all in. There's somebody punching a priest in the face. I'm there to watch it.
We'll have to have some deep talks about this on a future episode. Why that gives you so much joy.
Well, let me go to my number 3. And this one came out in 2015, so it's rather recent. And this one is starring another person we talked about in a wild tangent. But this is The Lobster.
Oh.
Directed by a guy that I am a huge fan of, Yorgos Lanthimos. Starring Colin Farrell. Who else is in it? Rachel Weisz. But this film is so strange and off-putting. Basically, it's I guess a dystopia society where if you're not with somebody in a relationship, you go to this resort and you have 45 days to find a romantic partner, or you are turned into an animal. Which I think we talked about this a little bit when we had
Alex
on the show. Yeah. He's a big fan of this film as well. The brilliance of this film is how Lanthimos, he gets everybody just to deliver their lines in such a deadpan way. And the comedy is so subtle, but it's absolutely it's hilarious. Starring the other guy from Step Brothers. Oh, what the hell is his name?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. He's in this as well, and he plays a hilarious part. But
remember Alex mentioned that toaster scene.
Oh, I think I mentioned that one. I can't give Alex. It got nominated for a few awards with the Academy. It did compete for the Palme d'Or, so it's another one of those films that has gotten a lot of critical praise. And if you have not seen The Lobster, if you like weird, strange films, Yorgos is your man. Go check this film out.
Yeah, the Palme d'Or. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Parasite win that award recently?
Yeah, Parasite won that for 2019.
Parasite won that. Yeah, that's where I recall.
That's so much better than the Best Picture award. I mean, Green Book won that last year.
Which I still haven't
seen. My ass with a Green Book.
After hearing that, I was like, oh, I didn't think that was going to win it.
I have not seen Green Book, so I can't really say, but yeah, I don't think it should have won. There was a lot of good films out last year, or 2018. I'm sorry.
2. That was your. Wait, am I right? Am I on my 2?
Yep, that was my 3.
That was your 3. Okay, so I'm on my 2. My number 2 is Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, you fucking bastard!
Yes.
Why would I bring these films? I speak to you in chat about these films.
You mentioned this one?
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead and Tucker and Dale. You're like, they're kind of more like horror comedies. See, which you're really just trying to get me not to put them on my list. Because you're like, that was a really good idea. Let me act like.
No, because when I was going through these, I've already forgot you mentioned. I remembered you mentioned the Tucker and Dale one. I didn't remember you saying Shaun of the Dead. But yeah, when I was looking through Dark Comedies, like, I was like, shit, I didn't see any of these. Like, what the hell is this? This and like, oh, there's so many that I missed. And then I was like, okay, black comedies. Oh, okay, darker comedies. Like, I wasn't sure what. Maybe there's something I've seen along
Yeah,
the
you
line.
saw
That's what.
nothing but Medea film.
Yeah, but Medea popped up. I was like, "Wait, Black Christmas. That's a throwback joke. Um, no, I did. I did not remember that you said Shaun of the Dead. I'm still gonna take that as a point for me in Battleship, though. Shaun of the Dead, funny movie. I think that was the first time I ever saw zombies as a comedy. And what's his face? Oh my God, what's his name? I already forgot his name. Some short name, Pegg, Simon Pegg, as the lead. And they're just like so. At some point, they're just like not even concerned with the zombies, and that ending is just so weird and hilarious with his friend and everything. It's just such a weird movie, and it's so funny how not concerned they are with the whole zombie apocalypse that's happening around them at times. Um, it's really so unique. I haven't seen anyone try to copy that actually. Have you seen another movie that does that?
Oh no, no, they don't even. There's a lot of they call them zomcoms out there because zombies are used in a lot of comedy,
Mm.
horror comedies. But this is the king of them. This is a 10 out of 10 film for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is a classic.
Oh, well then I'm not sorry.
In 50 years, people will talk about this film.
I gotta see it again. I want to see it again. It's been so long. Yeah, I just remember laughing out loud at this, and I was like, "Wow, what the hell is going on?" And it might have been also been one of my first British like comedy horror movies too. I just didn't think. I don't know what I saw Simon Pegg in before this that I even gave this one a try. It might have been on Netflix or
No,
something.
this is pretty much Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright did the directing, and this is like their breakthrough performance on both behalves.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
the whole slacker thing would like just being totally oblivious to your surroundings.
Hmm.
Because the movie starts off with him, going to the corner store to get his little soda and snacks. Then they run that scene back after the zombie apocalypse happens, and he's slipping in blood, and he's like just like he doesn't even notice that it's blood, and like there's people chewing on people in the street, and it's just so amazingly great.
This is 2004, Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, it's such an amazing film.
So
Um,
funny.
you're not a horror fan if you haven't seen this film, so you should just start liking sci-fi or something, I guess. But it's like I said, it's a 10 out of 10 film for me. It's an amazing film.
It's 2 points for me.
Uh-huh. It's just because you went first.
You offered it first.
And you
That's
don't
not
put
my
them you
fault.
don't put them in any discernible order.
If I did, then we'd. No, oh, but maybe that's my strategy.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I don't tell.
Well, I have another backup because that was going to be my number 2. It's a 2012, another British horror comedy called Sightseers. It's directed by Ben Wheatley, who also he's done a few amazing films. One called Kill List, another one called A Field in England. This is his. He did like kind of a criminal dark comedy, but this is really his. I would say his only real attempt at like a super dark comedy. Produced by Edgar Wright, who we just spoke about, but it involves a woman who's looking. She's just kind of looking around, meets a guy. She's looking for a new guy to be with, and they go on a little holiday in like a little camper, and she realizes that this guy is a serial killer. And instead of being totally repulsed, she ends up being kind of turned on almost a little bit by this, and it turns into almost like a Bonnie and Clyde type story. But it's done in such a subtle British humor way that it just keeps you laughing. But it's really fucking dark. There's definitely some blood and gore. but it doesn't lose sight that it's there to make you laugh at the same time. It was selected at Cannes for Director's Fortnight, so it's another film that's got a lot of critical acclaim as well, but it's also one I feel that is criminally underseen. A lot of people know Kill List, which is Ben Wheatley's most popular film. This was his follow-up, and I think just too many people missed it.
Yeah, it's got a 6.5 on IMDb, 85% Rotten Tomatoes, and a 4 out of 4 thumbs from Roger Ebert.
Oh, really? I thought he was dead.
No, he had 2 more thumbs stitched onto his hands.
4 out of 4 thumbs.
Yeah, because wait, is he doing this with anybody anymore?
But maybe he resurrected Siskel.
Oh, poor man! Didn't he have a brain tumor or something?
I think both of them are dead now, aren't they?
Wait, what? Yeah. Roger's dead?
Isn't he dead?
Is he posthumously giving these ratings?
Well, I know they have a website that is one of the more popular review websites.
Didn't Siskel's son take over or something?
I don't even know.
Is that even worth it? Because like, what is that? I thought we're trusting these specific 2 with their ratings, and like, oh, it's just some nepotistic advance of his son into the seat.
I taught my son how to
critically review stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, if you, keel over, I just hire your stepson to take your place. And like, oh, that guy knows what he's talking about.
Our president took over for his dad.
Wait, what?
In the real estate market.
Oh, yeah. Political 2020. That's what it's going to be about. David's kicking all of our members to the curb with our political standings. All right, what are we on? We are on my
number 1, man, right?
1. All right, so I'm trying to avoid re-mentioning stuff that we've already talked about because I did mention this movie in my top. What did we do? We did a top 20, so my top 10 for the year last year, but like I said, I had some difficulty finding movies, so I really wanted to mention this one too. Also,
Endgame is not a dark comedy.
Endgame is not a dark movie. Got it. I knew you were just waiting. I was trying to close the gaps between my words fast enough that I couldn't.
Well, the Hulk was kind of funny. The whole trap between a scientist and an actual superhero somebody would care about, but
Professor Hulk, the professor. So my movie, my number 1 in the top 10 dark comedies, Jojo Rabbit, and I was debating even like how you talked to me and you were like, Tucker and Dale, is that? And like, yeah, this was a dark comedy. Like it was based around a very serious time in world history, based around World War II Nazism and the Nazi regime taking over Germany and whatnot, and this child's take on what is right and what is wrong. And it is, if you haven't seen it yet, I mean, I don't know what it's going to win or what it's up for. We'll talk about that when we talk about the awards and whatnot later on. But it's a really well done movie. I really like it, and the acting, Sam Rockwell, ScarJo's in it. But the child, Roman, I already forgot his name, Roman something. He did so well, and like he's just such a lovable little kid. Him and his portly little friend, was the cutest British accent on that kid. So funny, and they're so cute. But the main character, the little boy, he just does an amazing job, and you just really feel like crying when he cries, and he's just so innocent, and it's really, the acting is so well done. And again, Sam Rockwell, like he was hilarious. And that guy, you mentioned his name last time, Alfie something, the one who plays Theon Greyjoy.
Theon Greyjoy, yeah.
In Game of Thrones. That guy was funny. Him and Sam Rockwell played together off and on in scenes.
Can we tell the folks the real reason you picked this film?
I mean, I guess I'm not privy to the situation.
The director, Taika Waititi, he directed Thor Ragnarok.
I didn't know that, actually. I'm not that hardcore of a fan, I guess.
Well, have you seen his other horror comedy?
Yes, I have, which was an
What
honorable mention.
What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes, What We Do in the Shadows. I saw it only once. I wish I saw it again so I'd remember much more of it, but I do remember the basic story.
That is such a great movie.
It's so funny. Like, he's
Oh my
just
God.
hilarious on camera. And when I saw him as Hitler in this movie, I was like, oh shit, I want to see that movie again. Like, what a crazy idea. Like, let's put Hitler in a comedy, and it takes place during this serious ass time, and he himself is playing it. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, if you ever thought it was too soon, it's not. That's when it's just right.
I still haven't seen it, so I can't really make an opinion, but I know this guy's sense of humor. And he also acted in What We Do in the Shadows, and that's such a great film. So I do really look forward to Jojo Rabbit when I can legally get my hands on a copy of it.
I got you. I'll get.
Well, my number one, I knew you wouldn't pick it because it is foreign language. But I actually saw this again very recently, probably within the last couple weeks. But it's 1992's Man Bites Dog.
I saw this in the list and I was like, I don't know what this movie is.
Oh God! So what this movie is? A group of filmmakers. They follow a serial killer around and record him doing normal serial killer things. This is made in 1992, so it's a mock documentary / found footage. This is before Blair Witch. Most film nerds will tell you that Cannibal Holocaust was the first cinema verde found footage type film. But unfortunately, everybody knows Blair Witch, so Blair Witch kind of gets the credit for that. They also bypassed this movie totally, but it is a Belgian film made on a super low budget. But it's breathtakingly funny. It is super dark, very nihilistic. But if you have not seen this movie and you love film, you have to watch it. Don't just take my word for it. They made a Criterion edition of this film. Criterion, they don't pick shit films to make special collections out of. But you follow Benoit through his daily life, and he's just going around. I'm guessing they're in Brussels. It's in Belgium, so Brussels is, I think, the only city I know in Belgium. So that's what we'll go with. But but he just goes through life, just eradicating people. And I call him a serial killer, and I use that term loosely because it's not like he has an MO. He's not sexually charged. He just really likes to kill people, whether it's for monetary gain. They piss him off a little bit. He's very racist. He's a very racist serial killer, but it leads to some very dark humor. Like he kills, I guess, I'm thinking he's maybe Bangladeshian, day laborer. I don't know why I'm saying Bangladeshian. That's just the feeling I got from it. But he makes the camera crew pull his pants down because he wants to really know if the myth is true. So after he kills him, he's checking out the guy's penis, and he's like, damn, that guy's gifted.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So it's just so dark, and the guy might have been African, but
is it in black and white?
It is in black and white.
That is the screen caps, the entire thing I'm looking at.
It was one of those things that was almost like a student film that ended up going, into film festivals. It was just so good what these students did that it made it into, it's an infamous film. And like I said, Criterion even did. I'm still waiting for the Blu-ray from Criterion, but they made a whole DVD special collector's edition. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Still waiting. I mean, how long do they normally take? This is from 1993 as a U.S. release.
Yeah, Criterion's weird. They just, whenever they get
Jeez.
around to. They have the DVD. They just haven't put out a Blu-ray version yet. And I tell you the truth, I think a Blu-ray of this film is a little difficult to find. I think it's gone out of print, but you can find the DVD pretty easily.
This Criterion business. I have a friend who's really into the Criterion collection, and yeah, she was saying that she's a real collector and that there's some that are actually worth money, and when they do go out of print, like this is crazy. Like I didn't know that kind of stuff happens with just movies you can own.
Well, for my birthday, I got Seven Samurai,
Mm-hmm.
and I got Sallow. And if you actually not even watch the movie, just see the quality put into the packaging, they come with little books. It's a beautiful, almost piece of art, just how they package the film.
Do they come with like all the extras in terms of like footage? Like, is there like commentary and?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
so
what it's known for, giving you the original aspect ratio in which the film is shot, plus all the extra bonus features. So Seven Samurai is a 2-disc version. So there's like 3 different documentaries with the film.
So there's never going to be like another release where, oh, more footage, or oh, now it's 40 more minutes, or this now, like this is it?
It's pretty much, if Criterion releases a film that you like, that is the ultimate of what you want to have in your collection.
Oh, I see.
That's like the definitive copy of that film.
I see. So like you don't need to go anywhere.
Not to say they don't have competitors, but they're pretty much knocking everybody out the box.
Okay, so you don't have to like hunt for like, oh, well, this one has this extra or that one has that. The Criterion has like everything.
Like I said, on Seven Samurai, it's 2 discs. 1 disc just full of bonus features.
I feel like we just really pushed Criterion on everybody. Everybody go buy your Criterion movies.
Well, if you're a film collector
and
they do a lot of foreign stuff, so there's a lot of films you like would wish that they would put out, and they put out weird stuff sometimes, because I think they do. Oh God, there's I don't know if they put it on Blu-ray, but there was a Pulp Fiction Criterion. I think they did something weird like Chasing Amy, if you remember that film. That was Kevin Smith's film after Mallrats. He did Clerks, Mallrats, and he did Chasing Amy.
I know the title. I don't think I ever saw it.
And it's like, why would that make it? Like, so a couple films will make it in there. It's like, I don't know why they made it in there, but the newest one I think they're working on is Roma.
Oh, okay. I still have to see that. Well, I mean, we have a legal copy of it.
Well, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And but that's one my wife wanted to see, and yeah, didn't it win something? Didn't it get Best Picture or something?
It was nominated for Best Picture. No foreign language film has ever won Best Picture, though.
Was that the year Green Book won? Was that Green Book beat
Yeah.
Roma? Was it really? I was
Yep.
joking.
So that's why that's why I'm holding out a lot of hope for Parasite being maybe the first foreign language film to win a Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah, this funny. This guy says Green Book should have been a good Best Picture winner in 1990 when Driving Miss Daisy took the top Oscar.
Oh God!
I mean, like, I know the gist of the movie, so it's kind of funny. Be sure to tune in next week when we will be discussing our top 10 upcoming movies of 2020. That should be interesting. Okay.
Well, that's our list. I think it's a pretty strong list we have there, even though you stole a couple from me.
I didn't steal anything, actually, but it was an excellent list.
One of them you absolutely stole.
I didn't, because I didn't recall that you had mentioned it to me. So if we could just drop this animosity.
Yeah.
It is the first
I forgot
show.
you said that was your TV, so it's in my house because I just totally forgot.
I forgot when I
forgot to pay for that TV. It's an honest mistake.
Your Honor. Your Honor, even though it was in his house, I wrote my name on it. So, you know,
See, those were easy picks.
those were not easy for me because there was literally maybe two others. Oh, I do want to mention an honorable mention from Jess. She wanted me to put Punch Drunk Love on here, but I was like, I didn't see it. So there you go.
I was thinking about Heathers, but I haven't seen that in so long that I'd want to revisit it before I would put that on my list. The ones that I have on my list are films that I've seen many, many times. And I've seen Heathers a few times. It's just been a very long time since I've seen it.
It's fair. Very fair of you, sir. I did manage to snag a new sponsor for this episode.
Alrighty.
This portion of Coast to Coast Film Reviews is being brought to you by the all-new frozen dinner diet that's guaranteed to help you lose weight. Yes, I'm talking about that brand new fad that's sweeping the nation. I'm sure you've already heard about it from your friends and neighbors. It's called Light and Tasteless. All your favorite flavors guaranteed to be so bland that a mouthful is all you'll be able to stomach. Now, before I promote any products on the show, I of course make sure it's 100% safe. I assure you that it works. I mean, I've lost all the weight, all of it, every single weight. I'm at 0.
You just lost all the weight.
At 0. I'm at 0 now. All the weight
don't
is
even
gone.
exist anymore.
No. Thank you, Light and Tasteless. Send me my check. That is Light and Tasteless. You've tried it, right?
I don't remember.
Come on, David. We went over this. You're supposed to say, yes, you've tried it. We're not going to get the money now.
Oh, man. Well, I'm not going to eat that. I'm sorry, guys.
You're so goddamn picky.
I live in the South. They put pork in everything. So as long as we can add some pork to it and liven things up a bit.
Some fried chicken. We still got to do that accent show one of these days.
Yes. We'll do that for the Suspiria.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Suspiria.
I love me some Suspiria. 1977 was the best.